What's going on, believers? Guys, Saitama is having a moment. It's not a moment that's causing a gigantic move to the upside. We're not talking about that right now. What we're talking about is there is good, solid buy sentiment. It's happening as we speak. You're finally starting to see some life regain itself into the Saitama project. There's been a lot of bearish sentiment going on. It's not as bad. And guess what that means? It means you're probably going to get a move to the upside. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, guys, Saitama's trading at 1334 right now. You zoom in here and you start to see that there's just a little bit of upward momentum. And guys, we haven't seen upward momentum in quite a few days. So you're starting to see the upward momentum. The fights that happened last night, other than, and I think we can all agree, Henry Cejudo does not need to be behind a microphone. But everybody else was at least passable, and they'll get better as they go. This was a bigger, Eagle Fighting Club was bigger and a bit more professional than I had thought it was, and it was a little bit more than I had even hoped for. So I'm really impressed that this thing is happening. And as it starts to move upward and as it gains traction, and I think that in reading up, I think it intends to be kind of a feeding ground for upcoming UFC fighters. That seems like a pretty interesting prospect. So I don't really have a problem with this partnership that I thought, you know, maybe you would want some kind of UFC or something like that, but you're not going to get it because of Crypto.com. This is a great alternative. Now, Khabib is a legend, so you're partnered with a legend, and he's bringing in other legends. I mean, that's not a bad thing. So let's enjoy the ride here. I think that's a very good thing. And as people start to replay this and as people start to gain knowledge of the Eagle Fighting Club, guess what? They're going to go back to these videos and they're going to look and say, what is Saitama? They're going to see it and it's going to become a thing. So kudos to the Saitama developers for coming through with something out of the blue, unexpected, that really kind of fits in and gives a lot of exposure where previously there was very limited sort of exposure. It was not great to see these guys doing their warm-ups and then going into Crypto.com stuff, because that makes you feel kind of level 2. And I know that Eagle Fighting Club is level 2 when it comes to this thing, but they're their own entity. They're not somebody's real feeding ground. Just that's the opinion that you get from it, but not because of what they do. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not just boring you with some stupidity about details. But let's move on. The most important thing that you can get right now from Saitama is price action, and you are seeing price action continue to move. You're going to see it drop to the 12s before it's done, because there are some salty investors, but you're going to continue to see bulls running. I hope that this Dubai Expo really starts this next level and this next leg, because remember, this was at one point the next big thing, and hopefully can regain some of that positive sentiment. Now here's what's important, right? Saitamask is not better than every other product out there. It's not revolutionizing anything. It's making some things better. It's making some things more available and more accessible. But those things are already accessible on your phone. So we're not revolutionizing everything, but you don't have to revolutionize everything in order to have an impact. Microsoft is not the best operating system. Apple iOS is not the best phone operating system. It's just the most popular. The most popular is what matters. And if you start to eat into MetaMask support, if you start to eat into some of these things, and remember that they have worked diligently to make these things happen, and you're going to see staking in very short order start to pop up, and you're going to make money for doing nothing. And money for nothing, that's what we all want as investors. And I think that staking is going to become a very big deal, and Saitama is going to be out there staking and allowing you to stake other cryptos. That's going to be a really good thing. It's going to be a really interesting thing, and it's going to be something that will move this needle. Plus, having partnerships with people like Impact XP, and Impact XP is having a moment right now. That's very important to have because that's going to increase that volume. I do believe on one day, 13 trillion Saitama were burned. That is an enormous amount. I'm telling you guys, as this thing picks up steam and as it gathers headway, there are going to be moments when you start to see some very serious Saitama price action. Nobody among us, by the way, as YouTubers, Rodney, none of us, we don't want to be negative. We just want to report the truth to you, and sometimes the truth hurts. It hurts us because we deliver it as much as it hurts you to hear it. Things are going better for Saitama right now, and let's ride this train and see where it takes us. It's not financial advice. Take your profits on the way up. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, and remember the most important part, I am always, always right.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.